You've been told you're too sensitive your whole life. Maybe a parent said it. Maybe a partner said it. Maybe you started saying it about yourself half as a joke before anyone else could. The tears come at the wrong moments. A stranger holds a door and your throat goes tight. A song you've heard 100 times catches you on the 101st. Someone says one kind thing and you have to look away. And every time the same small panic. Not again. Why am I like this? So let me say the thing nobody said to you back then. There is nothing wrong with the way you feel. What looks like weakness is one of the most finely tuned instruments a human nervous system can carry. Today we're going to look at the psychology of people who cry easily. And once you understand what's actually happening, I don't think you'll apologize for it the same way again. Let's start with the moment itself, because you know it well. You're somewhere ordinary, a checkout line, a team meeting, the car, alone, with the radio on, and without warning, your eyes fill. Nothing big happened. That's the part that confuses everyone, including you. There was no tragedy, just a small thing. A child reaching for their mother's hand. A coworker's voice cracking when they thank everyone. And it lands in you like a stone in still water. Here's the truth most people miss. You are not reacting to the small thing. You are reacting to everything the small thing carries underneath it. The child reaching up is also every time you wanted to be held and weren't. The cracking voice is also your own, the one you keep steady in rooms where steadiness is required. You don't feel more often. You feel more completely. There's a difference, and it changes everything. And I want to be careful here, because this gets flattened all the time. Crying easily doesn't mean you're fragile. It doesn't mean you can't handle things. Plenty of people who cry at a commercial are the same people who stay calm in a real crisis, who are the steady hand when it actually counts. The tears aren't the measure of how strong you are. They're the measure of how much you let in. Those are two completely different things, and the world keeps confusing them. So let's talk about what's actually happening in there. Because there's a real name for this, and it isn't a flaw. Psychologists call it sensory processing sensitivity, studied for decades by the researcher Elaine Aron, who called the people who have it highly sensitive. It's not a disorder. It's a trait, found in roughly a fifth of the population, and in a lot of other species too, which tells you it survived for a reason. The sensitive brain takes in more. It processes input deeper before it lets go of it. So a sound that's background noise to one person is a whole story to you. Think of it like resolution. Most people see the world in standard definition. You see it in something closer to 8K. Every detail is there. The micro-expression that flickers across a face before the polite smile reassembles. The slight flatness in a friend's hello that means something is wrong. You pick up the signal everyone else misses, and then you carry it. Have you noticed that? How you'll leave a gathering and replay one tiny moment. A look someone gave, a sentence that didn't sit right, while everyone else has already forgotten the whole evening? That's not you overthinking. That's a system that recorded in high resolution playing the footage back. But here's where it gets interesting. It isn't only your own feelings flooding in, it's other people's too. There's a set of cells in the brain called mirror neurons, and roughly speaking, they fire both when you do something and when you watch someone else do it. They're part of why you wince when a stranger stubs their toe. In someone wired like you, that mirroring runs hot. You don't just notice that your friend is grieving. Some part of your body starts grieving with them. So when you cry at a film or a wedding, or a video of soldiers coming home, you're not being dramatic. You're tuned to a frequency most people have the luxury of ignoring. You feel the joy in the room and the loss underneath it at the same time. That's a lot to hold. The tears are just the overflow. And that word matters. Overflow. Because we've been taught to read crying as breakdown, as the system failing. It's closer to the opposite. Researchers who study emotional tears, going back to the work of William Frey, found that the tears we cry from feeling are chemically different from the tears we cry chopping an onion. They carry more of the stuff the body produces under stress, which suggests crying isn't the malfunction. It's the release valve. It's the body finishing something it needs to finish. You've felt that, haven't you? The strange, clean tiredness after a real cry. The way the chest loosens. You didn't break. You exhaled something you'd been holding for hours, maybe years. Your body knew how to complete the loop. It just did it in front of people, and people made it mean something it doesn't. And notice that your body knows before your mind does. The tears almost always arrive a beat ahead of the thought. The throat tightens, the eyes sting, the chest goes warm, and only then does some part of you go, "Oh, this is moving me." That's backwards from how we think feelings work. We imagine we decide we're sad and then we cry. For you, it runs the other way. The body reads the room and responds, and your conscious mind is playing catch-up the whole time. That's not a lack of control. That's a faster, older system getting there first, the way it was built to. Which is exactly why it's so hard to stop. People say just calm down, as if you could reason your way out before the wave even named itself. You can't argue with a system that's quicker than language. You can only learn to stop fighting, to let the wave come, ride it, and trust that on the other side you'll feel lighter, not weaker. So where did the shame come from? Because here's the part that explains everything. The sensitivity isn't learned. The shame is. Go back. You're small, and something moves through you, big and wordless, and your eyes spill over. And someone, not cruel, just tired, says toughen up. Or stop crying. Or you're so dramatic. And you learn, fast, the way children learn the things that keep them safe, that the feeling is fine but the showing of it is dangerous. So you build the mask. The steady face. The I'm fine that you can say while everything inside you is loud. And maybe it worked. You got good at it. You became the calm one, the strong one, the one who holds it together while everyone else falls apart. People lean on you. They tell you how composed you are. And they have no idea that composed costs you something. That you smile through the meeting and then sit in the parked car for 10 minutes before you can drive. That you cry where it's allowed, in the shower, in the dark, on the phone to no one. That fine is a mask too, and you've worn it so long it almost feels like your real face. There's a cruelty in that, isn't there? That the people who feel the most are so often the ones who learn to show it the least. You spend the day absorbing everyone else's weather, the tense email, the friend who's clearly not okay, the stranger crying on the train, and then you go home and there's nowhere to put any of it except the dark and the steering wheel. You're the sponge nobody thinks to wring out. This is the part I want you to sit with. The crying was never the problem. The hiding was the price you paid to be accepted. And you've been paying it for so long you forgot. There was a bill. Here's the reframe, and I want you to actually let it in. You are not weak. You are not too much. You are not broken in some way everyone else got around. You are a high-resolution instrument in a world built for lower resolution. The same wiring that makes you cry at a stranger's kindness is the wiring that makes you the friend people call at 2 a.m. The one who notices the person standing alone at the party. The one who reads the room before a word is spoken. You don't have a flaw. You have a sensor that the people who love you depend on, even when they tease you for it. For most of human history, every group needed someone like you. The one who felt the shift in the air before the storm. Who knew the baby was sick before the fever showed? Who sensed the grief in the tribe and held it so the others could keep moving? Sensitivity wasn't a liability. It was a role. You'd have been the one they came to. You still are. They just call it being emotional now instead of being needed. So no, you don't need to toughen up. Toughening up was never strength. It was just numbing turned into a personality. Real strength is staying open in a world that keeps telling you to close. It's feeling the whole thing, on purpose and not running. Anyone can go numb. Staying soft on purpose. That takes a spine most people don't have. The goal was never to cry less. It's to stop being ashamed when you do. To understand that the wet eyes in the meeting are not a failure of control. They're proof the instrument still works. That after everything, you never let them turn the resolution down. If any part of this felt like it was written about you, leave a comment and tell me which line landed hardest. The moment that made your throat tight, right now, watching this. I read them, and I think you'd be surprised how many people are crying quietly in the car too, thinking they're the only one. And the next time your eyes fill over something small in a room full of people pretending not to feel anything, you don't have to look away. You can let them see. That's not the moment you're weak. That's the moment you're the only one in the room still fully awake. Subscribe to keep decoding yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.